Last night I came off of my shift from work, feeling pretty good about the night ahead. I had already been pretty busy that day before my shift, doing my morning routine, dusting my room, doing my laundry, taking out the trash while talking to my friend on the phone throughout it all. That night when I was going to come off my shift, I was going to watch a little YouTube, eat some food, then I was going to do my weekly grooming, which is essentially just shaving my head, trimming the beard down, and then I was going to do my nightly routine. But after I've eaten my food, watched the YouTube, done my grooming, I feel the need to take some photos of myself before I start my nightly routine. I've done my laundry earlier that day, so all my favorite clothes are out, my favorite t-shirts and pants, and I've also just cleaned up my appearance, which I do only once a week. So I decided to go ahead and take a few photos of myself before I start my nightly routine. After I've taken about a half dozen photos, because my phone is right in my hand, I decided to go on YouTube for a little bit longer. Then I end up coming across this strand of videos that totally just captivate my entire focus and attention. Time goes by whilst I watch these videos and hear these people's stories until I reach my daily screen time limit for YouTube. Now, to give you some context, this was happening in the early morning hours since I didn't get home off my shift till about 10:45 that night. So essentially I made it so that I only had such a small window of time later that day to be able to post my content and watch a few videos maybe while I'm either stretching or eating food. Now most people would probably stop there, right? But I didn't end up doing that. What I end up doing instead is basically Googling a bunch of things that I was interested in learning more about, taking more photos of myself, and just wasting more and more time. Until it gets to about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I have two options right now. I can go to bed right now without doing the routine, most likely be tossing and turning all night and feeling shitty about myself, or I can do the routine, have a much easier time falling asleep, and feel a little bit better about myself and this whole situation in the morning. So even though it's really late, I decide to go ahead and hit the routine anyway. Better late than never, right? I do the routine, fall asleep well that night, but then the next morning when I wake up, I feel as though my head is still in the same groove as it was the night before. I do my morning routine, and then after that's done, I hop on Instagram and TikTok because I'm so intrigued by this one individual story that I've found on the apps. Then hours roll by, and at this point I just feel like I'm absolutely addicted to my screen, and I feel really terrible about it. I begin to feel really depressed and just really down on myself because I've fallen into this trap that felt so good at the start, but just ended up giving me a headache, a lack of awareness, and emotional regulation. Now it's like, okay, what now? This all started with me just taking a few selfies, and it's turned into this addictive stimulation that has been captivating all my focus for almost the entire day so far. So I decided my next best course of action was to hit a workout, which with how I was feeling at the time and especially how my brain felt, was a thought that almost made me want to puke. But I hit the workout anyway, and it was hard, but I admittedly felt a lot better afterwards. And I felt a lot more motivated to get back to doing the work that needed to get done for that day. From this experience yesterday, I've learned that the quick dopamine of scrolling or looking for your phone can be a good thing, so long as you have control over it. I'm really glad that I have control over how long and when I look at certain apps, and I think it really helps me disrupt the momentum when I'm in that phase. From this experience, I was able to experience the consequences of using up all my screen time for the YouTube the previous night. And later on in the day, I had to experience the consequences of using up the rest of it that morning as well. Even though I have these restrictions put in place, I still ended up feeling like shit. So at the end of the day, this is all really a big lesson for myself to either disrupt the momentum before it gets really bad, or just pin my focus towards what needs to get done, be disciplined, and save whatever else for later. I'm really glad I have these restrictions put in place for myself, because without them, there's no telling how much more time I would have ended up wasting. There's tons of different apps out there that you can install for keeping track of your daily screen usage. Just start out setting easy limitations for yourself and then work from that point forward. Don't get carried away in the picture taking when you're supposed to be doing something else, because eventually that will most likely end up causing you to be more distracted than you already were. I know this was a shorter one today, guys, but I really hope this message helped you today. Keep putting in that work towards becoming at least 1% better each and every day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.